Comments on Senjuice? I feel like this is kind of obvious. There's certain things you just don't say that are within the team. And like, it did feel like they were like, you know, kind of shading out Kaplan a little bit, at least from what I saw. So I think, definitely too much transparency there for sure. I do respect that they're kind of saying what happened, but you have to keep certain things under wraps. And the Kaplan stuff should have been kept under wraps. Also, I don't know how accurate any of it was, right? Because Zekken came out and said he didn't care if I was on. I don't know, something. What did Zekken say about Kaplan? Oh, he said everyone wanted him to be on smokes as well, right? That he tried out for. I mean, I'm sure there were disagreements between Kaplan and the players at certain points during the year and stuff, but that's normal for any team. Like Rob Moore will look at that and also be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said some stuff and whatever. It is what it is. I still think Kaplan has too much of a high stock for that to matter. I think he's still going to be a very sought out coach or sought after coach, regardless of what was said. All the players have only good things to say about him. Anyone that he's coached has only said good things about him. So you'll be all right. Where would Kaplan go? I don't know yet, but teams will make changes all year. This is not like the first of the changes. I remember saying this when we were watching Sen, right? When they got knocked out, and I said, I think Sen is a good team that's improving at a very rapid rate, and they shouldn't make changes. And I still stand by the fact that they shouldn't have made changes. Because Rob said he gave Kaplan all the rights to get players. Coaches will always discuss it with other players that they are planning on keeping on the roster, what should happen, right? It's not just coaches that have, at least on the teams I've been on, it's not just coaches that go like full dictator mode. That's never the case. At least from my experience. Kaplan had all the contractual rights. I don't know what that means. If you are a coach of a roster, any coach of any roster, yes, you have certain rights to make certain things happen. That's by default. You don't need to have that written out. It's not just, I'm the coach, I will decide regardless of what anyone thinks. Most, if not all coaches will still ask the players on the team, hey, like, what do you guys think about this comp change? He doesn't just go, we're changing this comp, go yourselves, to every player, like without asking for their opinion or anything. Why shouldn't the org have final say? Because Rob Moore isn't watching every scrim. How am I explaining this right now? The org should never have any say in what the players' changes should be. It should be within the roster of the team. And then however that roster is, like, you know, on the hierarchy, it's usually the coach, the analyst, or like assistant coach, and then IGL, and then everyone else. Rob Moore's not a random guy. He knows his team. Yeah, that's rage bait for sure. It's not what I'm saying at all. He has a whole other job as a CEO. He's not sitting there in every single practice, bro. He doesn't know the ins and outs of the team. Wait, what? Rob said John QD wanted to IGL, but Kaplan didn't let him? Really? Were those his exact words? That just seems a little like, that's just like, I'm pretty sure it's not as simple as that sounds. Let's put it that way. Obviously there was a discussion that was clearly had within the team. Maybe the player was like skeptical at first, but said, I'm down, let's try it out, right? That seems more plausible than this guy just coming in full Hitler mode and just dictating everything. If all the players are coming out and saying these good things about Kaplan, the way I see it going down isn't the way you guys are seeing it, or like some of the fans are seeing it go down.
The changes kind of go hand in hand with why we're making the change today. Kaplan's a great coach. Why would you possibly replace Kaplan? He went to 6 of 7 of the last internationals. Kaplan went to 6 of 7 internationals with Zekken as his duelist and John as his IGL. So when Kaplan came back from Paris, his solution to how the season ended was to want to replace Zekken as the duelist and to replace John as the IGL. That was not something we agreed with.
Doesn't matter what the org thinks. Let me make that very clear. That is fully on Kaplan to make that decision. Bonkar isn't going to Andy Miller, hey, is it okay if Adam gets off of duelist for like a little bit? That's not happening.
And normally the way we process this is we kind of go back and forth and we come to a consensus of what a plan is and then implement the plan.
What? The org has say in how the players play the video game? Like what agent people are on, what role they're on? That is not normally.
One thing people are saying in the chat is, didn't Zekken make the decision to leave at the end of his contract?
Okay, so let's just talk about how we got there.
When he says, okay, you know it's being like a good amount of juice.
It was September.
Like, he's been holding that in, you know? Like, that's what it comes off. When he says, okay, like he's holding it in and he's ready to spill.
Was it end of September, October?
Yes, toward the end of September, okay? It was a month later that his contract was ending. We weren't trying to keep him to be our duelist. We never talked to him about it. So I'm saying I'm not how can you say I'm scapegoating the guy who made a decision? That is by definition the opposite of being a scapegoat is when.
Wait, is the claim here? Wait. Let's get this straight. Is the claim here Zekken decided to leave Sentinels because Kaplan made a decision to put him off of Duelist and into controller role?
You force your employer to do a decision they disagree with? That isn't scapegoating. That is taking responsibility for your mistakes. And then with John, he decided he didn't want John to be his IGL anymore. He and John had worked together for 4 years. When our coach is adamant that these are the changes he wants to make, are we supposed to just tell him? But he had the right contractually, which I'll never give again. He actually had the right to make the final say on roster within the budget.
Really?
Yes.
Is that a thing? I'm surprised.
What is Tarek surprised by? Yes, the coach gets to decide who's on what role. Doesn't have to be contractual. That's just normal. Like, I love Rob Moore. Like, I've had multiple conversations with him. I love this guy. He is so funny. However, I don't know what situation this is where I'm not siding with Kaplan 100%. Now, if Rob Moore clarified, even some of the players disagreed with Kaplan, that would give his argument a little bit more merit. He did say that, where literally everyone disagreed with Kaplan.
So when people say, well, your roster isn't any good, why are you blaming Kaplan? It's like, well, this was Kaplan's roster, not the one we wanted. And so this
was Kaplan's roster, not the one we wanted. Can you guys clarify that statement for me? They wanted star players, I guess. Yeah, because those just grow on trees, right? Who could they have gotten besides the players they did get? Sentinels, all things considered, with the changes they had to make, had a solid run. Man, like, who was hating on Sen? Yes, they did. They had a solid run for a new team. Of course they did. Bro, look at the competition in Americas. They improved over all of their matches. If, say, Kaplan did everything everyone else wanted, nothing would have changed. You still wouldn't have gotten some crazy star players. You would have gotten you would have kept Zekken? No, you wouldn't have. You could have put Zekken on Duelist and given him maximum control of everything and stake in the company. He still probably would have gone to MIBR. Kaplan was what seems like trying to find solutions to the problem that Sen had stagnated. That's it. Maybe they don't agree with the direction that Kaplan maybe took on the players he picked up, but Caillou did fine. John Cutie off of IGL was their best player. If anything, you just give Kaplan a raise. Genius decision. Was the best player in Americas. Cap let Zekken go. I don't know what that means. You think Kaplan cut Zekken? You out of your fucking mind? I won't believe that till he says it to me himself. Not a chance. Cap didn't even try to keep him. I don't understand you people. Zekken would have left anyway. Get MIBR. What's Kaplan gonna do? Suck him off? So now it's on Kaplan. Why did the org try to keep him? Why is it not on the org anymore? Why does the org get involved when it's convenient and then not involved when it's not convenient?
Did you have talks with Sen after your contract? Yeah. I was in talks with Sen like all the way up until I chose MIBR. The talks included you being the duelist or no? With Sen, Cap wanted me to be on like the Omen second duelist.
Right, because I assume they want to narrate on Duelist, and obviously Kaplan wanted to change something because the team has stagnated. I'm with him so far. And Zekken is the type of player that can play anything, realistically. Like, it's easy to assume he'd probably be able to play anything.
Like, literally every team I talked to had me on either full-time controller or controller plus secondary duelist.
So every team agreed with the way Kaplan wanted to do it.
Set for a role change no matter what. And I was down for it. It would have been the main duelist on Sen if that happened. I think narrate.
Not only, this is actually more proof that Kaplan's vision made sense. Every other team also wanted Zekken to trial for them on like controller / Yoru.
I think this whole Sen situation was just not good for both of us, that being Sen and myself. I think before the season even started, I think I was like in a horrible position to like actually perform for the team due to some things happening. And I think me being off the team is...
Before the season even started, I was in a horrible position on the team due to some things happening. Like family stuff? Like personal shit? Or like in the team? We don't know. We just don't have idea. Okay.
Something happened in October, which made me not want to play for the team at all. But contractually, I was kind of forced to because I had no real opportunities because of contractually, I was given no opportunity to seek opportunities, right? And it was just a hard situation for me. I would have put in like a really bad spot to play for the team. Even like before they like officially like dropped me, I was gonna bench myself anyway.
All right, so given this context, where it was so bad he was going to bench himself, whether that's like his fault or the team's fault or just them just not getting along, that actually goes to support the fact that they were going through all this and Sen was still like getting better slowly. The thing is, like, I disagree with Rob in this situation.